welcome back to the garden. I'm Kelly, and today I thought I would take you with me while I plant my pumpkins out into this archway. The variety that we're growing is called Butternut Waltham, and this variety we grew in the garden last year in an archway just over the other side of the garden. And these pumpkin plants actually grew from seed that we saved last year, which is really, really exciting. I'm so excited to see how they grow this year and if they grow a bit more different because the seed was saved from a pumpkin that we grew in our garden. So join me and I'm going to fill this archway with beautiful pumpkin plants. I've got some silver beet growing on the other side of the archway and it's getting quite big, so just so it doesn't intrude into the space of the pumpkin plants, I'm going to give that a bit of a trim back. And I've also got some kale down here as well, so I'll give the leaves a bit of a trim back, feed them to the animals, and that way as the pumpkin grows it's not getting shaded out by the silver beet or the kale. Yesterday I came out and planted the pumpkins on this side of the archway, so I just have this side to go. And as I was planting them, I was trying to plant them close to an irrigation hole in the irrigation line. That way, in the really hot periods of summer, I know that they're going to get watered at least close to the base of the plant. But as I was planting these, I did notice a few spots where the soil was really dry, and so I'm guessing the irrigation may be clogged up and for some reason it's not working at a few spots. So the irrigation was turned on this morning. So as I am planting them, I'm just checking to see if the irrigation lines are working. We get really hot summers here and I've got a pretty big garden. So I like having that irrigation system in place to water the plants for me. So I'm definitely going to have to get that sorted. But in the meantime, I think I've got 12 pumpkin plants lined up here ready to plant, and I've got a pretty busy morning, so I'm going to get these into the ground. The soil is nice and soft there, which is great, and it's pretty damp, so I can tell that the irrigation's been working this morning. I've got the garden beds covered with lucerne mulch. Now, usually I use sugarcane mulch in the garden, but they had bags of lucerne mulch on clearance, so I got them really, really cheap. So I've used that in spaces of the garden, and it's quite different to the sugarcane mulch. It's probably not as fluffy. It's maybe, a bit more dense, I'd say. I guess we will see how it goes as the season progresses and it starts to break down in the garden. We'll see if it does the soil any good. I found a spot where the irrigation isn't working. The soil doesn't seem overly dry, but so I'm not sure if it's not working totally. I might plant it and then just leave that space uncovered around it just so I can come and check on the irrigation when I've got time later today. You can tell this has been working. It is really nice and moist. There are worms right here. As soon as I move the mulch, there are worms. 2 worms in the same spot. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna have to, and another one here. I'm gonna have to dig very carefully. I don't want to hurt the worms. Wow, this hole is loaded with worms. It's so cool. I like at first glance right now I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 worms. Also, if you guys are enjoying this video, please make sure you give it a like, share it around, and subscribe, as that's going to help my channel out a lot. And I really want to try and encourage as many people as I can to get out into their gardens and to start growing their own food. Let's get back to planting the pumpkins. We are up to the lucky last one. That didn't take me too long at all. Hopefully this irrigation line has been working. Let's find out. I thought I saw a slug just then when I was planting out this last seedling. Usually we don't get slugs in the garden at all, but last week I picked a lettuce from a different spot in the garden and it was filled with slugs, which I was very, very surprised about because we do not have a slug or a snail problem here in the garden, which I'm very thankful for. Now, yesterday when I was planting out the pumpkins on this side, there were some slugs on the bottom of the pot, so I was checking the bottom of the pots each time I pulled it out. And I didn't see any, and I don't know if that was a slug. I had a quick look, I couldn't find it, so I'm guessing maybe it was just a worm. But all in all, I've got 12 plants planted along here, so on both sides of the archway, I've got 24 pumpkin plants, which I am so excited about. This variety is Butternut Waltham, so it doesn't get to a huge size, still a great, decent size for what we would like, and we love the taste of the butternuts. But because it is still a smaller variety of pumpkin, we're able to trellis them up here, and I don't have to support the weight of the pumpkin. They just hang really well. They don't tend to snap the vine, which is awesome. Now, there were 2 spots that I found that the irrigation wasn't working, so I will have to sort that out. Rightio, well, I know that the irrigation was on this morning and the soil was pretty damp, but I am still going to water these guys in just to get rid of any air pockets. And hopefully we don't get a warm day today. I specifically chose today because the weather was going to be a bit cooler, so I really want to try and get a lot of my seedlings out into the garden today. In total, I've got 24 pumpkin plants planted in this archway. I am so excited, and make sure you stay tuned because I will share with you the progress as they grow and fill the archway. Last year it was so pretty, and that was only in a short archway. I'm excited because this year I've got them in the long archway, and I'm just so excited about how it's going to look and how many pumpkins we're going to get as well. I think I maybe had just under 20 plants, maybe around 18 plants, and I did weigh each pumpkin that we brought into the house. I wrote it down, so I will share that number below, but it was pretty cool, and we still have pumpkins in the house from last year. We were able to have pumpkins all winter long, which was really cool. It was the first year that we were ever able to grow a big amount of pumpkins, and so the fact that I didn't need to buy any pumpkins over the winter was really nice. If you have any questions or comments, please write them below. I would love to read them. And if you have ever tried trellising your pumpkins on an archway or a trellis, let me know as well, because it is really something that I don't think a lot of people talk about. And it's such a great space-saving option in the garden because pumpkins, they do like to wander. So if you can train them to a trellis, you're going to save yourself space, be able to grow more plants, and hopefully have healthier plants as well. So there are lots of benefits to growing on a trellis, especially with your pumpkins. So if you haven't given it a go, make sure you give it a try. Choose the right pumpkin though, because if you do choose a big variety, I'm not sure if they would be able to hang from the trellis without snapping the vine. So make sure you look into that. Radio, well, thank you so much for joining me in the garden today on a quick little video to plant out my pumpkins. I am so excited that we're finally getting a lot of our spring crops into the ground. I hope that I could encourage and inspire you to get out into your gardens today to plant some plants, plant some seeds, grow some food, and try and be a bit more self-sufficient. But until then, I will see you all next time. Bye.